Is AI really affecting the hobby?
Well, I found this article online titled How AI is Changing the Rapidly Growing World of Sports Cards. And I want to read it to you guys. I want to react and give you guys my thoughts. This article came out early in June, and I just want to kind of pick it apart because it makes good points. And I did kind of breeze through it before I made this video, but it also doesn't make a lot of sense. So, artificial intelligence, this is by Ellie Stevens. Artificial intelligence is having a real impact in the world of sports card trading, reshaping the way people analyze value and sell the collectibles. Hopefully, you guys like the background. It's supposed to be like robots kind of taking control of me. Thought it was kind of funny. A growing number of startups have capitalized upon the technology to make the fast-paced world of sports cards more efficient for a sector that is rapidly growing. According to Ted Mann, CEO of Card Scanners Collects and Card Dealer Pro, 85 million American adults, or about 33% of the population, own trading cards. That is crazy. That's actually quite impressive. That's where AI comes into play with companies like mobile sports card scanning app Collects, using the tech to help collectors and sellers determine the value of their cards to prevent unfair deals. Now, listen, a while ago, I think over a year now, I made the video, and I'll leave it the top of this video here, a card to it, about using Ludex, which scans cards and such, and you kind of manipulate the price like that. And a lot of comments in that video suggest that I'm blaming Ludex itself as a scam. No, I'm not blaming Ludex, the platform. I'm saying that people can easily use Ludex as a tool to scam other people. And I just think it's something to completely avoid. And the thing with these scanning apps is they're quite inconsistent. The only one that I've been able to use with almost 99% success ratio is Alt, but it only scans PSA and Beckett cards. To use a scanner, collectors upload a picture of the card to the app. So you got to take a picture and upload it, which in turn matches the card's features to those in their 20 million card database. So it doesn't have every card. Once a matching card is found, the app populates details on the market value. Determining the market value is important as prices are constantly fluctuating, which they are. See, I like the apps where you can physically upload the card information yourself and keep track of it that way. I don't know if that's supposed to be Collects or if it's another one like, TCG Player. You can kind of do it and kind of watch the prices. But if you have to take a picture of the card, those are the ones that I'm not a big fan of because they're just super inconsistent. We have to get all the historical pricing up to the minute, really. We have to pull prices every day, whether it's from our marketplace or others, to be able to calculate the average price, says Mann. It's like stocks, which it very much is. Easy access to pricing is opening up the hobby to those whose cards are sitting in the attic. While 85 million Americans own trading cards, man, found that only 20% of them have ever bought or sold a card online. Now, for those whose sports cards are sitting in the attic, I'm not gonna lie. People who do have cards in the attic, in the basement, wherever, and deep in a closet, it's more likely are not going to be 80s and 90s junk wax stuff. And those people, they just kind of recognize or found out that sports cards have value, and they just want to immediately sell it for top dollar because dollar a card, 4,000 cards, $4,000. And that's not exactly how it works. I mean, that's a whole nother rant for a whole nother video, but they're not going to sit there and scan individual cards. They're just not going to. Even if it was vintage cards, 50s, 60s, throw in the 70s for that matter. They're not going to sit there and scan every single card. They're not going to go one by one to scan the cards. They're just not. But how do you find a solution to that problem? You really don't. Unless you want to sit there and invest the time to actually do it one by one, which I guess you could. I'm not saying you can't, but these people aren't going to do it. They're just going to want to just take their cards, know how much they're worth, or know how much they think it's worth, and try to get top dollar for it. Man says 60% of the people that are buying and selling cards on Collects Marketplace are doing so for the first time. AI-enabled card management or card collection management has brought this huge pool of new collectors into the market, Mann adds. In addition to the mobile scanner, Collects also offers an AI assistant called Collects AI, which uses large language models to coach collectors through card sales and purchases. I think I should make a video about using this Collects app because I've never used it before, and just having this AI coach teach you card sales and purchases is a little suspicious in my humble opinion. But guys, if you used it or you are using it and you've had a good experience or even a bad experience for that matter, leave your feedback down below in the comment section because I want to know more about this. When you are haggling a little bit on a card, getting tips about what's the right way to make an offer is super helpful. Of course, it's super helpful, especially when negotiating. But I don't know how AI can be helpful for that because they're not there in real life. And every vendor is going to be different. Every vendor is going to have a certain number cutoff thing. They can't go below that, or maybe they just don't want to negotiate at all. So I mean, it's just the thing about AI and just technology in general is that there's so many variables and they're not all calculated. As advanced as technology is, all those variables, all the human variables just are not calculated. Alongside Collects, man also founded Card Dealer Pro for professional card dealers. Rather than taking pictures of the card they want evaluated, dealers feed their cards into a scanner that they can analyze 100 cards per minute using AI Card. Dealer Pro's pricing database also helps sellers determine prices for their cards and list their cards across multiple channels such as Collects, eBay, Shopify. Sean Hastings, the store manager of Illinois-based shop Diamond Cards, said this type of technology could be a game changer for sellers. One of the largest individual sellers on eBay for single cards on any given day, he will have 2.5 million items on eBay. Hastings says, I know how time consuming it is for employees. It is. So, I mean, in terms of listing it on eBay, I mean, again, I don't know how the AI aspect of it works in that it's able to, analyze 100 cards per minute. I know that you can get card scanners, and I know Burbank Sports Cards uses this. You can dump in a bunch of cards and front and back photographs it and uploads it right into the computer, and then they can make the listing that way. I don't know if it's a similar process in that regard, but I think that's an efficient way of getting cards photographed, scanned, uploaded, and then listed. Whereas AI, again, what if they get the year wrong or the player wrong or, doesn't see an error? And again, these are human errors as well, but at least with human errors, you can teach them, hey, look for this. This is a mistake. This is the more rare version, or this is, a fake card. Can AI even spot fake cards? I have no idea. To grade or not to grade, AI is also revolutionizing grading or the evaluation of the card's condition. And I know there's, I believe, Tag, that is a grading company out of Texas, I feel like. Don't exactly quote me on that. But they use AI, so they don't use humans to, look at the corners and the stuff and all that. No, they have AI do it. Again, I believe it's Tag. I'm almost positive it's Tag. Historically, card owners would send their cards to third-party grading companies where humans evaluate the cards based on the corners, da-da-da-da. The grading company then sends a report back to the card owner and places the card in a case that lists information such as, we all know that. Card Boss is a card scanning app working to combat this issue using AI. Card Boss owner Sean Rogers describes the app as a pre-grader. The app uses AI to analyze the condition of a card based on an uploaded image. While grading with third-party company can take months, Card Boss's process typically takes 20 minutes. So it's going to take 20 minutes for listen, I guess the 20 minutes is worth it, especially if it says like, hey, it's an 8 and not a 10, what we might think. I don't know. I feel like it should have been quicker, especially if it's AI, right? Once users receive a pre-grade Card Boss, then they can decide if it's worth spending the additional time and money to go get their card officially graded. You might say Card Boss gave my card a 9 or a 10, so this is worth grading, Roger says. But if it gets a 7 or an 8, for example, it might not be worth spending the $40, $50 to submit it and wait 3 months to get the card back. I would also argue, what if Card Boss says it's a 9 or 10 and it actually comes back a 7 or 8, right? Or maybe vice versa, where Card Boss thinks it's a 7 or an 8, but if you actually went out and got it graded, it would have came back a 9 or a 10. I mean, you can look at this from both sides. What's next? While plenty of experts are concerned about how AI could affect their jobs and livelihoods, many in the sports card industry are more optimistic about this technology. Diamond Cards Hastings says he could see larger grading companies adopting AI technology, which could potentially make the grading more accurate. Something I could maybe be convinced on. The 3 large grading companies are all testing AI right now, Hastings said. Do we have proof? Somebody could be having a bad day at work, so they could grade something differently than if they were having a good day. I agree. This could take the human portion of the judgment out of it. Now, that is the end. Now, that is definitely something that I've been preaching for, or strongly suggesting that your card may be a 7 or a 6 because the grader was having a bad day. Their girlfriend broke up with them the night before. Maybe they're hungover, or you got all tens because they were in a chippy mood. These are all true or potentially true factors from these grading companies that do have humans grading your cards, both of our cards, right? How can you fix that? You can only hire so many graders, professional graders for that matter. But I mean, through a little bit of training, or at least having a trained eye or seeing millions of cards like I have, I too could be a grader as well. But I don't call myself a professional grader. So is there really such thing as a professional grader unless you've seen a bunch of cards and you've been doing it for a long period of time? I don't know. That's for you to answer. But when it comes to AI, I'm just super hesitant because I've seen too many instances where AI has gone something wrong, whether it's been for good or for bad. And I don't want to see the hobby, which has been up and down, left and right, spiraled out of control and brought back in. The market's up, the market's down. I mean, literally everything you can think of about this hobby has happened to this hobby all within the last 4 or 5 years. It's crazy. Do we really need something like AI being thrown into this hobby where AI has a ton of inconsistencies that I've already mentioned throughout this video? I mean, maybe in like 30, 40, 50 years from now, maybe it's a different story. But then we're going to have businesses possibly closed down, have employees fired and laid off because the advancements of AI. I mean, in human civilization, if we don't want robots taking over the world, then don't make them. But there's going to be this one company that's going to be like, well, if someone's going to make them and make a lot of money, why not it be us? So let's make the robots, right? So that's going to be kind of my rant and spiel about AI. But let me know what you guys think of this video. I really want to know what you guys' thoughts are. Have you used the Collects app? Have you used this Card Boss app? Have you used any of the platforms that I mentioned in this video? I definitely want to know because I personally haven't, and I'd love to make future videos about them just to kind of show you guys, to give you a better understanding of some of these platforms that are out there that could be hobby revolutionizing, or maybe they're just going to be an absolute disaster for the hobby. So I definitely do want to know your thoughts and opinions. Again, leave those down in the comment section below. Please click all the buttons, like, subscribe, consider joining the channel membership program, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I've queued up an excellent video right there for you that I do believe is going to be excellent for your hobby endeavors. Hopefully, I'll see you in that one.